After Jungkook took Jimin to the beach, ARMY was shocked by the appearance of a short-lived that raised many questions. 30 minutes ago, the world was shocked by a live broadcast lasting only 7 minutes on Weverse showing Jungkook taking Jimin to the beach. The surprise became even more dramatic considering that a day earlier Jimin was reported to have to rest in the hospital due to exhaustion. A big question then arises. Has Jin's condition really fully recovered, or was that moment on the beach instead a symbol of a deeper emotional recovery? That brief moment showed the togetherness of BTS members that has rarely been seen by the public lately. The shaky phone camera, the faint sound of the waves, and Jin's face looking tired but trying to smile became the main spotlight. Jungkook appeared beside him, as if ensuring that Jimin did not lose balance on the beach sand illuminated by the twilight light. That simple gesture actually brought a big emotional impact, especially for ARMY who had followed Jin's health journey and activities with deep anxiety. The live broadcast was short, but left long questions. Why did BTS choose the beach as the location? Is there a symbolic meaning behind the choice of the place? Or is it just a simple effort to keep Jimin away from the hustle and bustle of city life? In the context of health, sea air is often associated with recovery and calm. However, seeing Jungkook's face occasionally looking at Jimin with deep concern, it was clear that the moment was more than just ordinary recreation. The reaction of ARMY on social media immediately exploded. Only within minutes, the 7-minute live clip spread widely, with thousands of comments questioning Jin's actual condition. Some considered Jungkook's act of taking Jimin to the beach as a form of moral support as well as emotional therapy. There were also those who speculated that the short broadcast was deliberately carried out to ease public anxiety after the news about Jin's hospital care the day before. When the camera briefly turned to other members, Jimin, RM, J-Hope, and Suga were seen sitting relaxed at the beachside. They seemed to try to create a normal atmosphere, as if they were enjoying a calm afternoon. However, the gazes of some members occasionally directed at Jimin revealed another layer of the atmosphere. Worry that still lingered. Even RM, who is usually full of energy and live, seemed to choose to stay mostly silent, only occasionally giving a small smile when the camera was pointed at him. From the academic side, this moment can be read as a form of representation of solidarity within a global idol group. BTS not only appear as a commercial entity, but as individuals who take care of each other. The short broadcast became a symbol that behind the grand stage, they are also humans who need space for recovery. Jungkook taking the initiative to bring Jimin to the beach showed the dynamics of informal leadership, where the younger member takes a protective role in a crisis situation. Even so, critical questions also arose. Was the short broadcast really spontaneous, or had it been arranged beforehand by management to ease public panic? 7 minutes felt too short for a BTS live, which usually lasts longer. The decision to end it quickly also sparked suspicion that there were certain things that wanted to be hidden from public view. However, on the other hand, the authentic impression in the recording was difficult to fake. Jin's weak smile, the way Jungkook briefly held his hand before releasing it, to the sound of the waves that sounded real, all reinforced the impression that this was a spontaneous moment full of sincerity. In fact, its simplicity made it so impactful, leaving a deep impression on anyone who watched it. Now speculation continues to grow. Is this a sign that Jimin has recovered enough to return to heavier activities? Or on the contrary, that he still needs a long recovery so that BTS deliberately showed a calm moment to reassure fans? There has been no official statement from HYB regarding Jin's condition after hospital care, thus the space for speculation is increasingly open. Whatever the answer, one thing is clear. BTS's togetherness at the beach showed a strong emotional bond, not only between members, but also with fans who always support them. Jungkook, with a simple yet meaningful act, has created a moment that will be difficult for ARMY around the world to forget. And although it only lasted 7 minutes, that live was enough to become a long discussion material. The questions kept hanging. Has Jimin really recovered? Why was the broadcast so short? And why at the beach, not in another location? Until an official answer emerges, that moment will continue to be a dramatic symbol of the fragility of human condition, even for a global superstar like BTS. Departing from the 7-minute live broadcast that was said to have happened 30 minutes ago on Weverse, which showed Jungkook taking Jimin to the beach after exhaustion news. We need to shift focus from euphoria to critical evaluation. Was this an authentic event as believed by some viewers, or a visual series produced to direct public perception for certain interests? Are we witnessing genuine recovery, or a narrative neatly edited to look genuine? The first question that must be asked concerns basic verification. Are the time, location, and chronology circulating truly in accordance with the original recording, or just interpretations repeated without cross-checking? Is there supporting documentation, metadata, other camera angle cuts, or official statements that confirm those crucial details? If none exist, why have many already built final conclusions from short clips lacking context? Second, let us weigh the possibility of cognitive bias working subtly when beloved public figures are involved. Are we choosing comforting information, confirmation bias, while dismissing contradicting signals? Does emotional closeness with BTS, which is culturally valid, push us to accept the recovery narrative without demanding adequate evidence? If yes, does that not open gaps for misinformation that feels warm but fragile? Third, we should examine the motives of short content production. Why was the live duration so brief? And why was the beach location presented as though an emotional remedy, perfectly fitting? Was the duration limit a technical and spontaneous consequence, or a communication designed to spark curiosity while maintaining mystery? If indeed there is a communication strategy behind it, who benefits from this uncertainty? Fans, media, or industry? Fourth, consider the dimension of performativity in digital culture. Have simple gestures, guiding steps, slight smiles, worried glances, been understood as signs of authenticity, even though in the camera era every gesture is easily given meaning according to collective expectations? Do we assume visual intimacy equals factual truth? And if not identical, what is the proper methodology to distinguish the two? Fifth, let us examine the ecosystem of information circulation. The video fragments and narratives we refer to, taken from TikTok, YouTube, Twitter/X, and other media, circulate quickly, cut, given provocative titles, then redistributed without adequate curation guidelines. Is such a flow compatible with journalistic verification standards? When clips spread faster than checking processes, are we consuming information or just emotional ambience resembling information? Sixth, we need to assess the credibility of sources. Did the account that first uploaded the recording have a track record of accuracy, or repeatedly push speculative content for impressions? Did the channels that quoted provide links to primary sources, full transcripts, or editor clarifications? If not, why does the public still give high trust weight to claims whose origins are not transparent? Seventh, do not ignore the industry context. In the dynamics of global entertainment, spontaneous moments often intertwine with reputational purposes, easing worry, restoring image, or reinforcing loyalty. Does this mean every moment is staged? Not always. But is methodological suspicion a healthy part of media literacy? It should be yes, because reasonable suspicion protects us from premature conclusions. Eighth, let us propose a counter-hypothesis. If this event is fully organic, why is there no accompanying release explaining post-care health outlines, recovery protocols, or assertion that the activity was done under proper supervision? If it exists but has not been published, is it reasonable to postpone judgment until stronger evidence is available? Is not the attitude of delaying conclusions the most ethical discipline in consuming information? Ninth, we must also consider technological risks. In the era of advanced editing and audiovisual manipulation, have we evaluated the possibility of distortions, slowed speed, selected cuts, or altered contexts that direct viewers' emotions on a certain trajectory? Do we have the tools, competence, and time to perform simple forensic analysis, or at least independent cross-source checks? 10th, the public ethical dimension is no less important. When millions of eyes watch a figure who may be recovering health, does the urge to know now override considerations of privacy and dignity? If we demand details not ready to be shared, are we reinforcing a consumption culture that objectifies recovery as content? And if indeed so, are we ready to bear the consequences? 11th, let us place ourselves as discourse bearers. Do our comments, re-uploads, and interpretations enrich clarification or fatten speculation fog? When one ambiguous